What does it mean that masculinity is being restored? What does it mean to be a man in this culture, in this day and age? Masculinity is being restored, and along with it, so is femininity. The last video I made, do men have a feminine side? You can watch that video here if you so desire. And I answer the question, no, men do not have a natural feminine side, but men can be feminized and women can be masculinized. And for a while, this may have worked. I mean, I definitely don't want to go back to the old ways where women couldn't vote and they couldn't own property. I don't want to go back to those ways. Those ways didn't serve us as a collective. But I think everybody at this point can agree it's gotten a little too crazy, unworkable, insane. And yes, I know that there is a greater thing happening, the disidentification with the ego, the destruction of the collective ego. But wait, we're going to get there. But today I want to answer that question. You know, what does it mean that masculinity is being restored? And furthermore, what is your role in it? I know a lot of women watch my work. It's been that way for a long time. Women are naturally interested in spirituality. So if you're a woman, this concerns you too, because when masculinity is restored, femininity is restored. And today we're going to talk about what that means for everybody. And if you are gay, bi, if you're childless, if you're not into the matrix, guess what? There's a role for you too in the new paradigm. So I really want to explore this today. And I love that we are finally having these types of conversations in spiritual communities and also in the culture at large. This is going to be a real good episode of the Shaman Patrick show. So let's go. Now, do you ever wonder why I, as a gay guy, would care so much about male-female relationships? Why would I care so much about this? Well, because even though I'm gay, I'm a human being, and I see a lot of people out there suffering unnecessarily. Men can suffer. Men can put up with a lot of suffering, and I can handle it. But there had to be a point when I had to choose not to suffer. And, the ego doesn't recognize suffering as suffering. And I've told you, I don't just come up with stuff. I want to say this clear. Like, I'm not like promoting an agenda. I'm not like in the manosphere. I'm a shaman. Bitch, I'm a shaman. And if you don't know much about what shamans do, this is the shit they do. They see things in the culture that are in need of healing. And we also can read the writing on the wall. Like I knew this stuff was coming. I remember the Teal Swan forecast video that I watch every year. I watch the Teal Swan forecast. She gives a really wonderful forecast of what's going to happen throughout the year. She's an intuitive. She's a seer. This is what seers do. We see shit going on in the culture, primarily because we exist outside of it. And if you think that the restoration of masculinity and femininity has nothing to do with the queers, the non-gender conforming people, like y'all are really fucking out of pocket on this shit. All my gays, all my queers, listen, nobody's coming for your fucking rights. Nobody's coming for any of that shit. Calm down. But you've lost sight of your role in society. You're not an outcast. You're not an outsider. All gay people have always had a role in society. I'm not doing the LGBTQ alphabet soup shit here either. That was meant to divide the spiritual side of humanity. Yep. If you're queer, you're the spiritual glue that holds society together. You're sacred. So you may as well start fucking acting like it. Quit whining and complaining about how people don't accept you. Honey, you got to accept yourself. When you accept yourself, other people will accept you. Do you think I sit and think about how all the straight people don't like me and that straight people hate gay people? I don't think about that at all. That's victim shit. What is my purpose? What is my role in society? You have a role. And everybody has a role and a purpose in a society. And that's what all of this is about. It's about what is your role? What is your purpose? Don't be a useless man. Don't be a useless woman. And don't be a useless queer. Don't be that. And while we're on the subject, I'm not queer. Quit calling me a queer. I don't know where y'all got that shit. It's cockamamie shit. That's a slur. So let's watch this video from Teal, and where she talks about the restoration of masculinity.
This year is going to shine a real spotlight on the worldwide crisis regarding the expression of masculinity as well. There has been, and is, a war against masculinity in the world today. Men are not allowed to be men anymore, and being disallowed from expressing all masculine qualities, they've become, quite frankly, disempowered, insecure, and very weak. This is creating a real liability regarding society's ability to be controlled, and it's really destroying the relationship between men and women. And there is no way for there to be a crisis regarding masculinity without there being a corresponding crisis regarding femininity. Well, guess what, though? The way out of this mess lies with the masculine polarity, which is the polarity that carries the vibration of initiation. In 2025 and beyond, men must re-own and express their masculinity. They must be advocates for each other in doing this, and women must also advocate for them doing this.
So, as you can see, that Teal Swan said that this was going to be going on 6 months ago. 6 months ago, when I watched this, I didn't think I was going to be here. Like, I heard what she said, but I didn't know exactly how it was going to all play out. I didn't know that it was going to be through Justin Baldoni. I didn't know that we were going to get to see why we needed masculine men, why we needed protectors, why we needed men to have their masculinity restored, open borders, Bonnie Blue, like where are the men? Where are the fathers? Where are the people who are there to say, this shit has gone too far. This shit has gone way too far. And so, yes, I see communities of men working together and advocating for each other in restoring their masculinity. I mean, I go to a men's meeting twice a week where I love it. It's men talking to other men. You can't have women involved in this process. Men have to advocate for other men. They do. But like, a man can call out another man on his bad behavior. Women try to, but a man should be doing that. A man can do that because men have the power. Men used to stick up for other men. You know, I got a comment on this that about the video I made yesterday that women made themselves look ugly to protect themselves from sick men, like that they would get assaulted if they looked pretty. And I totally get that. I didn't consider that because I'm a man, and as a gay man, I kind of liked other sick men. I loved sick men who would abuse me and torture me because I was sick in the head. But now that I'm sober and I have a familiarity with firearms and also I know how to protect myself now, I have a different worldview about it. I have a different idea about it. But if it were a different culture, men would be scared to fucking death to look at a woman a certain way because a truly masculine man would not put up with that shit in Walmart, in Target, on a bus, on a train. But you have all these feminized men you see who look the other way or don't want to offend people. So feminized men are the cause of all that shit. Weak men who don't stand up or call out other behavior. And, you know, Merrick and I got into a situation where we had a weak feminized man who was in our life close to us. And that's really what woke us up. You know, this happened last October, and we were like, this is the end point of having a porn addict in your life. This is the end result of having a man in your life who has no integrity, can't be honest, weak, powerless. And we saw the end result of that. It made our lives a disaster. Oh, and when we tried to explain it to other people, weak men couldn't fucking fathom it. This is a fucking epidemic. Like we got hurt by weak men, and in becoming hurt by those weak men, because we didn't know they were weak men. You see, we got a really good lesson in all of this. But why does it have to get that bad? Why does it have to get so bad that that you may have to file for bankruptcy or get your car repossessed? You can't have a weak man in your life. It is destructive. They are destructive. They will destroy you. Because that's all they know. A weak man only knows how to destroy. But a masculine man knows how to protect, build, care for, and nurture other men and other women. There's a brotherly love. I've experienced more brotherly love in the semen retention community. This is men restoring their masculinity, learning how to be men, learning how to be decent men. And it shocks the shit out of me that there are still groups out there who try to shut this down. It's very self-destructive. Women are a necessary component in the restoration of masculinity. And it has to start with men. And because we're initiators, and women have to support it, because when women support the restoration of masculinity, women, their femininity gets restored, and there's an order again. There's less of this chaotic element, and I'm going to explain exactly what all of this means. But I want to say again that the restoration of my masculinity became necessary because I had had enough of all this weak man shit in my life, in my family, in my friend group. I'm like, I don't want this chaos, this feminized shit anymore. I want men in my life who are masculine. I want to be friends with other masculine men, because feminized men at this point in my life are a liability to me. They're a threat to my sobriety. They're permissive about drugs. They say gobbledygook. They don't say what they mean. It's like namby-pamby shit. And the time for that shit is over. For my husband and myself, it became a life or death situation. For a friend of ours, it became a life or death situation for him. Like, we're like, oh God, we can't have weak men a part of our life. Definitely not our inner circle. We don't fucking want this shit. Who wants to invite a thief into their house? So some people might say that we're afraid of weak men. No, it's for their fucking protection. It's for their protection. Because if they start doing some dangerous fucking weak shit around us, we are gonna have to put a stop to it. That's not a threat. That's what a masculine man would do in that situation. Weak men are very dangerous people. Weak men are what is wrong with society. And so why did this happen? Why did we go through all of this? Oh, more will be revealed about that. More will be revealed about that. So let's get started with today's presentation. What does it mean that masculinity and femininity is being restored? Something is shifting. You can feel it in the air, in conversations, in relationships, in the quiet dissatisfaction people have with the status quo. There's a longing for something truer, older, and more rooted. Beneath the noise of culture wars, identity politics, and ideological extremes, a deeper movement is taking place. One that isn't trending because it's popular, but because it's necessary. Masculinity and femininity are being restored. Not the cartoon versions, not the wounded, distorted, meme-worthy extremes, but the real thing, the masculine and feminine that have always existed at the core of human consciousness. This restoration isn't about going backward or assigning people rigid roles based on outdated ideals. It's about moving forward by reclaiming balance between men and women, between strength and softness, between truth and illusion. Let me reference that comment again that she made a lovely comment about women not feeling safe on the streets or in life. Well, if a woman hangs out with Merrick and myself, she's probably going to feel really, really safe. Especially when they know that we will protect them from any tomfoolery. I don't want to say that in a particular way, but don't fuck with us, essentially. Don't fuck with it. We've set clear boundaries with tomfoolery. It's just not going to happen. Not on our watch. It's just not going to fucking happen. You see? And if it does happen, we will step in and take care of it. We're doing that for somebody right now. But women don't feel safe. And the reason that women don't feel safe is because their masculinity has been MIA for the past few years. It's just been gone. That's why women don't feel safe. So to make women feel safer, men have to step the fuck up. Men have to do it. And you don't have to be a straight man to do it. I'm a gay man and I'm stepping the fuck up because what else are we going to do? I mean, I'm tired of the confusion. I'm tired of the chaos. It's time wasting. It wastes so much fucking time to dance around this issue. I mean, to try to talk to a family member about them being a weak fucking man. They're like, I'm not weak. I'm not weak. I'm not weak. I'm like, well, your ex-wife still has you by the balls, destroying your relationship with your own kids. I wouldn't let my ex-wife destroy that kind of shit with me. She would be an ex-wife for a reason. Ballless, weak, destructive, addicted to porn, pleasure, all that stuff. The buck stops here. The buck stops with a man, with a masculine man. That's where it stops. Put down the porn, put down the men. Come on, wake the fuck up. Okay? This isn't about a revolution. It's not about it's happening anyway. It's happening spiritually. It cannot be stopped. It's happening. Like most spiritual things that happen. You know, this is the Great Awakening. This is where the illusions fall. It's not about being violent. It's not about taking back power. It's a restoration of masculinity. It had to happen. I am just as shocked as you are that this shit came up in me. I was like, I'm becoming a man. I grew the fuck up this year. About fucking time, right? So the end of confusion. For too long, we've been fed confusion designed as progress. We've been taught that sameness is equality, that polarity is problematic, and that gender is just a social construct. But the soul knows better, and now so do we. This return to spiritual polarity is not just a personal healing, it's a cultural correction. And if you're feeling the pull, you're not alone. Let's explore what this restoration means, not just for men and women, but for all of us. What does this mean for me? What does this mean? This means stepping into my role as a shaman to be of service to other people. I can't be a weak man and be of service to anybody. Like I said before, weak men destroy. Weak men cause a lot of problems. Weak men waste time. Weak men lead to the destruction of the family and the society and all that stuff. My father was a weak man. What happened to me? I wasn't raised. I had to raise myself. Same with my husband. I had to raise my husband. I didn't expect to have to do that. Women, did you have to raise your husband? Who's raising the boys in this culture? So I am just as shocked as anybody that this masculinity is being restored in me, but it became a necessary thing. And I think for many people, it's a necessary thing. I had to raise myself. Essentially, most men in this culture, you're going to have to raise yourself, or you're going to have to find a husband to raise you, or find a mentor, or find somebody to learn how to be a man. Because that's been denigrated, hasn't it? I'm going to get more into that, but I don't want gay people or people who do not, like, there are people out there who don't want to have kids. They don't want to do any of this shit. They just want to be them. And you know what? You have a role too. Do you want to know what it is? In any great restoration, there will always be those who feel left out of the narrative. Those who don't fit the mold of husband, wife, mother, or father. The gays, the child-free, the deviants, the divergent, the ones who have always lived on the fringe. This restoration is not about conformity. It's about alignment. And everyone has a role in the new alignment, especially the outsiders. Now listen up, queers. I'm going to tell you what your role is. Are you ready? Historically, it was the outsiders who held the spiritual fabric of society together. Gays and gender nonconforming people were often the priests, oracles, monks, mystics, and nuns. They lived outside the traditional family unit so they could serve the whole, not in spite of who they were, but because of it. They were the visionaries, artists, healers, and wisdom keepers, and they still are. In a culture returning to balance, we need those who see differently, feel deeply, and live authentically. So if you have no interest in having children, if you are gay and you don't want to have kids, I mean, I love the fact that gay people can adopt kids and stuff, but I truly do support a man and a woman in a loving relationship. I mean, I love that. I love it. I support that. And I remember this silly bitch from the 70s, Anita Bryant. You know, she used to say that gay men would be the downfall of the American family. And I think it's highly ironic because I see a lot of gay men, especially Republican gay men, trying to keep the American family from being destroyed. What group is destroying the American family the most? It ain't gay guys, I'll tell you that. What is it? I'll give you a hint. What is it? Share in the comments what you think is destroying the American family. What group? It's not gay men. It's not gay women. There ain't enough gay men to destroy the American family. What is it? What is it? What could it be? So outsiders, even you single ladies, you have a role too. But if your role is selfish, if you are selfish, if you are focused only on what you can get out of this world, what pleasure you can serve, what pleasure you can sate, what hunger, what thirst you can, that's not you. That's not authentic. That's the ego. That's the ego in you needing to have something filled, all holes filled, all bellies filled. Just what can I get from society instead of what can I give to society? If you're a queer, gay, whatever you are, think about what you can give back to society, because chances are society has given you a lot at this point. Hey, we got gay marriage. We're no longer discriminated against much. I think gays have done pretty well for themselves. And I'm not talking about transgender here. That's a whole other thing. I don't even know what that is all about, but I'm talking about gay people here, gay people, lesbians. You at this point, what can you give back to society instead of just a bottomless hole full of meth and alcohol and semen? What else you got? Because gay people sure have taken a lot from this society. Now, what can you give back? Think about that. And life is going to become a lot easier for you, because here we are entering a more conservative age. And if you're a useless person, like what do you give back to society? There's a lot of people out there with their hands out. Gimme, 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 gimme. What are you giving back to society? If you can find a way to give something back to society, you would be surprised that society would start giving more to you. If you're worried about your rights being taken away, why should you have the right to do a lot of the destructive things that you're doing with your life? I'm just putting that out there. Do you know what I mean? I'm speaking to my gays specifically here. Your children, your boys, you're acting like little kids. Grow up. We need you to be mature and grow up. What's the point of being gay if you're not going to do what God made you gay for? To be the outsider, to hold the spiritual center. And you're too busy sucking dick in a steam room? Come on. For real. It's a good thing I'm not monetized, isn't it? All right, outsider purposes and roles. You don't have to raise children to help raise the collective consciousness. You don't have to be a mother or a father to midwife a new paradigm. Some people are here to create families, and some are here to remind the family why it exists in the first place. Purpose doesn't come from fitting in. It comes from showing up in truth and offering your gifts. And the world is starved for those gifts now more than ever. The restoration of masculinity and femininity doesn't erase the role of the outsider. It amplifies it, because in the presence of grounded men and embodied women, a sacred third, the artist, the seer, the healer, finally has something stable to land on. And that's when the real magic begins. Do you know that there's a theory of why Hollywood movies suck right now? Why art sucks, why things just suck? Because AIDS killed all the gay guys. Yeah, the generation before me, I used to never see guys older than me. Rarely would you see guys that were older than me, because AIDS almost killed them all. So from my generation, we lost our mentors. We lost our gay mentors. We lost our gay wisdom keepers. And so for my generation, it was a new world for us. And I mean, I'm sure there was spiritually a role for that, a reason for that, but it was wild. It was like, even today, when you don't realize what it's like to have an entire generation of your forebears, it was like a gay genocide. It was like, there's a reason why our culture was the way it was. Gay people, gay men in particular, had an incredible role in art, music, and culture before AIDS wiped all that shit out. And I'm not saying straight people can't be artists or whatever, but it's obvious to see that something's up. Also, ironically, in the Republican Party, there's also a lot of gay men. They're not exactly out, but conservative values and gay men go together like peanut butter and chocolate. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that? So if you think that conservatives hate gay men, they really don't. They really don't. A lot of gay men work for conservative political organizations. And you may not know this unless you've known conservative gay men, unless you've seen it for yourself and talking to them, because gay men love America. We love the fact that we can get married. We love, I would say, conservative values. We love masculine men. We love conserving a culture, but not at the expense of anything else. So I'm saying that for everybody out there who thinks that if masculinity and femininity is restored, it will be the end of the gays or the queers or the lesbians, but it won't. We might go back to a support role. We might go back to not being all over Netflix or all over Instagram. We might not be celebrated in the culture the way that we were. But I'm telling you, what happened in our culture made us put a target on our back. We want to go back to the shadows just a little bit. We don't want to be on Netflix shows. I mean, I don't like watching shows with gay people in it because I'm gay myself. And We don't need more representation. I mean, if you need to see yourself reflected on a screen, that's called narcissism. So you might want to go get some therapy for that if you think that representation matters. Representation matters if you're trying to promote or an ideology or engage with ideological subversion. So put that in your pipe. You can smoke it if you want to, but I'm not going to force people to do drugs anymore. The end of the gender war. I'm going to have to let my hair down for this one. For too long, masculinity has been demonized and femininity distorted. Toxic masculinity became a blanket term that often attacked all expressions of male strength, while femininity was twisted into either performative submissiveness or aggressive empowerment. The restoration suggests that we are ready to honor the sacred, grounded versions of both energies, not as enemies, but as complementary forces. And I do want to be clear about that. This complementary forces. Man, my hair is a mess. Good Lord. Look at me, a masculine man, worried about my appearance. Oh my God. But complementary. Men and women complement each other. They do. That's a fact of life. Men need women. I'm a man and I need women. I'm a gay man and I need women. I need empowered, embodied women in my life. Sometimes I need support from a woman as a man. I do. I don't have a wife. I have a husband. Being in a male relationship there's certain challenges of that, but men need women. I like women. I love women. I just don't need to sexually engage with women or with anybody other than my husband. But men need women. Let's get rid of that idea that men don't need women and women don't need men. How has that worked? Men and women are complementary. We need each other. All right. Okay, I'm glad we can put all this behind us. So it means we're done with war. Men don't need to be feminized to be kind, and women don't need to be masculinized to be powerful. We're learning to respect the design rather than fight it. Respect the design. We don't fight it. Gender wars are stupid. All types of war. Race wars are stupid. All these wars are stupid. It is all ego. It is. It's bound to happen. In the collective, we have to see it for what it is before we can decide something different. But let's end the men versus women gender war. Men do not have to be in competition with other women. Women don't have to be in competition with other men. That's ridiculous. I saw a comment on the video yesterday from somebody who said, why did I fall for that? Women, all my women independent, throw your hands up at me. And she also said, why did I want to bring home the bacon and also fry it up in the pan? I mean, I'm the stay-at-home husband. I work. This is my full-time job now. But at the end of every day, I make dinner for my husband. It's my job. It's my role. That's what I do. I love doing it. I love cooking for my husband. Why would a wife not want to cook for her husband? I don't get it. I don't get that. Why would you not want to care for the man in your life? And I could see if he was a weak man, I wouldn't want to. But I want to eat too. I want to eat good food too. But I love taking care of my man because my man takes really good care of me. And we're two masculine men. How does that work out? Pretty damn well. But here we have a rebirth of the family unit. When masculine and feminine are restored, so is the family. This isn't about 1950s nostalgia or regressive gender roles. It's about realizing that strong, emotionally present fathers and loving, intuitive mothers, or whatever combination of healthy, masculine, feminine energies exist in a household, are crucial to raising whole, stable children. The family, when anchored in true masculine and feminine harmony, becomes a spiritual structure, not just a biological or social one. Now, as rough as my childhood was, I am glad that I was raised, especially in my younger years, with a man as my father and a woman as my mother. My father wasn't emotionally distant when I was a child. My dad was a pretty good dad up until my mother made him quit drinking. My dad ended up being a miserable dry drunk who ended up abusing his kids. I actually had a really great childhood when I was really young, like 5, 6, 7. It didn't start to get weird until my dad's alcoholism truly took control. He became feminized. He became weak. An alcoholic and an addict is a feminized man. I hear my phone ringing. But a weak man is going to be an addict. And in the process of recovery, you grow up. You really do grow up. So what I'm saying here is the family unit provides a spiritual structure, not just a biological or social one. Thank you to the sponsor of this video, The Machinations of Ego. It is our new book out now. It isn't a book. It's just an ego exorcism. If you're ready to break free from drama, self-sabotage, and performative spirituality, this book will change your life. Get it, read it, wake the fuck up. Available now on concreteshamans.com. I had to go answer the phone. That was my husband calling. He was calling me to say that he was going to be taking off early today to come home and mow the grass. And that's his role, to mow the grass. And the grass is getting a little bit long because it flooded all weekend. And that's his role, to mow the grass. I offered to mow the grass today. And he goes, no, I don't really see you doing it. That's a man's job. And so Merrick and I have done this. Like, we have gone into roles. Like, he does some feminine energy stuff, like laundry. He does the laundry. I cook. You know, we have decided, you know, because in the other slide, it said the mix of feminine and masculine energies. And so, you know, the mix of those things, like, we have decided what works for us. I love to cook. He doesn't really know how to cook or have an interest in it. He didn't know how to cook or do laundry, or he didn't know shit. Like, his dad or mom didn't teach him shit. So we have decided for us the roles that we play, and there's never really any arguments about it. I cook, I clean, he does laundry, he cleans out the cat box. These roles are necessary. What are the roles are necessary in any relationship? It's just that we don't get so tied up with them. So I love being in a marriage where we have clearly defined roles, even in a male-male relationship. Some people will ask us sometime, so, how's that work out? Like, you're married, who's the woman? And we just say, neither of us. Clarity in roles without rigidity. Restoration doesn't mean going back to stereotypes. It means we stop pretending that biological sex has no spiritual or energetic significance. Men and women are different, but equal in value and unique in function. Instead of denying these differences, the trend is about owning them, celebrating them, and channeling them correctly. This gives people permission to relax into who they are, not perform a role out of shame, rebellion, or societal programming. You know, the girl boss archetype, the woman who has to do everything. Why would a woman want to do everything? What, you know, Candace Owens gets a lot of shit because she's got a book coming out. I think it's called Make Him a Sandwich, where she's talking about the roles, gender roles and family and how important they are so that children are not confused, so that people are not confused. Confusion sucks. I mean, I was confused about my sexuality for a while, but as soon as I knew I liked guys, I was clear. Like, no more confusion. No more confusion here. So do you want to raise kids in a confused, weird environment? I know, when I was raised where my dad was an alcoholic and he cheated on my mom, that was very confusing for me. Very confusing. Merrick had there was infidelity in his parents' marriage as well. I don't know the truth about that because nobody really wants to talk about the truth about anything in either of our families. We just it's very confusing, very unhealthy, very confusing. Nobody knows the truth about us or anybody else. It's like freaking confusing. So these clarity in these roles without rigidity. That's what it's about. Like, I can decide to mow the grass right now and surprise my husband if I want to. Sometimes I do the laundry and he's like, oh, you did the laundry. There's no rigidity in these roles. Nobody expects women to go back into the kitchen and be barefoot and pregnant. Although there are some women, and I've talked to them, who would love that. They feel like they have to get a job or they're going to be judged. But I love being a stay-at-home husband and a stay-at-home dad to our kitty cat Cheddar. Cheddar loves that I work from home. So does my husband. So there's clarity in these roles and they're not rigid. And it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm less of a man because I clean and I cook. It means that I'm more of a man, that I'm a masculine man, because a masculine man is going to do what needs to be done regardless of it. They're just going to do what needs to be done without thinking too much about it. It just needs to be done. This needs to be done. Otherwise, like, I like clean clothes and I like eating and I like living in a clean house. So I'm going to do what needs to be done and I'm not going to worry about it being feminine or masculine or anything like that. So let's move on to this one. The healing of the wounded masculine and feminine. The restored masculine isn't dominating or cold. He projects, leads, and provides structure. The restored feminine isn't needy or manipulative. She nurtures, inspires, and allows. We are learning to heal these archetypes in ourselves. And as we do, we attract better partners, form healthier friendships, and stop playing out mommy-daddy issues in adult relationships. Now, in researching this stuff, this restoration of masculinity, which I've been working on for months now, I've heard in YouTube videos from women where they talk about being in a relationship with an incompetent man, like an incompetent man who can't manage his finances or handle his shit or tell his ex-wife to fuck off, like an incompetent man who doesn't know how to run anything. They're just incompetent. They're sick of it. They're sick of being with incompetent, feminized men. So they were able to attract better partners by realizing they were worthy of more. You see how this is all going to work for everybody? Who wants to be with an incompetent partner? Who wants to have to parent their partner? Now I'm going to tell you, when Merrick and I got married, we realized we were extremely fucked up. And that we both had a lot of growing up to do, but we decided to do it together. We decided to heal together. And so I see people being able to do that in relationships, say, I need to grow up. Do you want to grow up with me? I think that's fine. I think that's wonderful. I think two people who get married and heal together is a wonderful experience. Merrick and I went through it. I didn't know I was going to have to parent him. And also, we got therapy over this as well. And, the therapist said it's important to not taint the relationship. Like, you don't really want to be mommy and daddy to the person that you're married to. But in my case, I knew that it was necessary to parent because he had not been parented. You do not want to get with somebody who has not grown up or who has not been parented. You're gonna have to do a whole lot of work, but I was willing to do the work. I loved him. I knew that it was gonna make our relationship better, but we did have professional help in this. We were both receiving therapy at this time. And we were also coached into how not to taint the relationship. It was a very difficult process. It's still kind of ongoing. But to attract a better partner, you want to be a feminine person. If you're a woman, you want to be a masculine man. A masculine man is going to attract a better partner, just as a truly feminine woman is going to attract a partner who is better for her. You do not want to get involved or fuck with incompetent people in your personal life whatsoever. You just don't. You don't. And I'm going to say this. A manipulative man is a feminized man. A cheating woman is a masculinized man. So a man who manipulates is a feminized man because men don't have to manipulate. Men can ask for what they want and receive it or not. They don't have to manipulate people. They don't have to lie to people. A masculine man doesn't have to lie. So once we understand that, we can begin to understand that a cheating woman is a masculinized man. Because if a masculine, oh man, this is gonna blow your mind. So if a man is masculine, his wife would see no need to cheat. He would be giving her everything, so there would be no need for her to cheat. But if she's cheating, she's obviously with a feminine man. You know. So feminine men manipulate, bully, cheat, steal, all that kind of stuff. And a masculinized woman would feel like she needs to conquer other men. She needs to conquest outside of that marriage. So when this gets really crystal fucking clear for people, when you see it for what it is, you see a lot of weak men whose women are cheating on them. Like, oh my God, it's crazy how far this has gotten, how far it is. If you want to get a really good sense of what's going on here, you'll watch this video by Eric Copeland, The Music of Life. But you might want to watch this too, Andrew Tate versus Bonnie Blue Goes Wild. You'll watch these two videos. They're not for the faint of heart, but you can get a really good sense on how fucked up and screwed up everything is. If you are brave, you will see how men are wounded, women are wounded, manipulations, and how it all got so very, very, very fucked up. So the restoration of the masculine, the restoration of the feminine will be very good for you and good for society. Do not be afraid. As my masculinity is restored in me, there's a clarity, this clearing up of confusion. Like a lot of things just make sense to me now. And it also makes sense how feminized my thinking had become, how this feminization of my mind had made me weak, addicted, and powerless, and a pussy, and broke. It was wild. But as masculinity is restored in me, everything's crystal fucking clear. I don't get my feelings hurt anymore. You can call me any name you want. Like, it feels good to be a masculine man. It feels really good. And I still got some work to do. It's being restored in me with the help of other men, with the help of other people. It's being restored in me. And for you women out there, be aware that the femininity is going to be restored in you. It's going to just start bubbling up. It's going to be like, oh gosh, I am woman, hear me roar. Like, that's what it's going to be like. But maybe not like in that song, but it's going to be like, I am woman, hear me. What's up? Hello. It's wonderful. And I'm speaking to you from experience here. I'm not more violent. I'm not more aggressive. I'm not meaner. Restoration of masculinity is a lot different than what I thought it would be. It feels really, really good to be a man in my male body. It feels really good. Thinking like a man, being like a man. I mean, I'm not special and I'm not unique. I'm a male. Like a men, this feels good. This feels spiritually correct, if you know what I mean. And whether I'm gay or straight or whatever, but because I sleep with a man doesn't make me any less of a man. Tell you that probably makes me more of a man, if you know what I mean. So a spiritual upgrade, polarity returns. In spiritual spaces, this restoration is crucial. Much of modern spirituality became neutered and vague, detached from real world consequences, lacking in power or polarity. But real transformation requires polarity, the dynamic dance between stillness and movement, order and chaos, logic and intuition, giving and receiving. Restoring masculinity and femininity restores the current, a spiritual electricity that brings teachings, communities, and relationships back to life. Masculine restoration will lead the way, and feminine restoration follows after. So, ladies, it's coming for you. Like if I were a woman today, I would be interested in learning more about masculinity and what it looks like for a variety of reasons. You should want to know the truth about stuff, but women have been used the past several years more than ever. I'm just going to put it that way. Like for us gay guys, we the large majority of us realized we were being used as political pawns, because as soon as we got gay marriage, we were sort of kicked out of the community. I mean, they changed our flag, they changed everything. So we realized, like, oh shit, we're of no value as victims. And gay men are very unlikely to be victims in this way ever again. We've realized that we're powerful in this way. So unless they come up with some new way to victimize us, we're probably not going to go back to victim status again. So when that victim status was removed from us, they tried to make us victims again. And so we woke up to that. So is there a value in keeping women from realizing their femininity? Well, women should want to know about this stuff. Women should want to know exactly why they got the vote. It's not about female empowerment, honey. They say it's about female empowerment. They say it's about this. They say it's about that. But actions speak louder than words in this regard. Like, it would be nice if it had been about female empowerment, like gays getting to be married. Why did we get that? There's so much I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. It would be nice if it was about that, but women have been used long enough. I mean, if I were a woman, I'd be sick of being used at this point. I would be sick of being used as a pawn for other people, for other men, for other women. I would just be sick of it. I would, if I were a woman, I would say, you know what? I don't want to be used anymore. I'm going to get my head about me and realize what the fuck is going on. And so that I can't be used, denigrated, abused, victimized any fucking more. If I were a woman, that's what I would be doing. But I'm not a woman, so I won't be doing that. But to my ladies out there, you should want to know the truth about this. You should want to know the truth. And once you know the truth, it actually feels kind of good. Clarity, less confusion, no more chaos. It feels really, really good. But a spiritual upgrade, polarity returns. Polarity will return. And don't pay attention to the non-dual and all that neutered, vague spirituality detached from the real world. I mean, this is an illusion, but just stay away from that stuff for a while. When you have a baseline of clarity, then you can get a little in the upper cloud stuff. But I mean, you got to ascend. You got to start from a baseline. But this is the end of the victimhood as identity. When masculinity and femininity are restored, people stop hiding behind identity politics, trauma labels. Instead of weaponizing gender wounds, people begin taking responsibility for healing. Men no longer need to be ashamed of being men. Women no longer need to compete with men to feel valid. There's freedom in embracing who you are, not resentment in who you're not. And I think, as these resentments go away, as these grievances go away, we can really focus on ourselves. We can make our world really small. and we can do what we want to do in our life. You know, it's about freedom at the end of the day. It's about freedom. What does that mean to you? Being freedom, being free. Do you even know what that is? But as your masculinity is restored, and I suspect that as your femininity will be restored, you will see freedom like you've never known. Your own thoughts are going to be knocking around in your head, not somebody else's. It feels really good to know the truth about stuff, even if at first it's a little scary. Now, I can't tell you the truth about stuff. You're going to have to see it and realize it on your own. And in fact, in this video, I may have already said too much. I want you to discover it on your own. But what does the restoration of masculinity and femininity mean for all of us? It means we're entering a new era, one where truth replaces trends, where embodiment replaces ideology, and where men and women can actually love each other again without suspicion or shame. The restoration isn't optional. It's happening. And the more we align with it, the more peace, power, and purpose we'll experience individually and collectively. Women who are on board with restoring masculinity will find great power here. Those who still cling to the old way will have a tougher time. And like I said, you know, and this goes for men too. Men who are not on board with masculine restoration will have a more difficult time with all of this. Anybody who is not on board with the restoration of masculinity and femininity will have a tougher time. And especially if you're gay or outside of the norm at all, recognize your role in what's happening, so that you won't be excluded. You know, it's kind of wild. You know, when I first came out, it was not about convincing people to accept me. It was not about convincing people that I was different or that look at me, I'm gay. It was about assimilating into the culture, showing people that that being gay is a big part of my life, but it's not all parts of my life. I mean, it's actually kind of a small part of my life now. And the only reason I'm talking about it right now is to provide context that being masculine and being a man while also being gay is cool too. Like it's not a big deal. And you know, I might make a video this week about homosexuality and how homosexuality was made into an issue or a problem right around the same time that all this shit started, because homosexuality used to not be a problem or any big deal. Nobody even really thought about it because it was known that gay people or men like to have sex with men and whatever, that it was a novelty. It was just something that a few people did. But by putting the focus on it and making it a problem, we were used as political pawns. I'll probably make a video about why are you making homosexuality a problem? It ain't no big deal unless you want to make it a big deal. But being gay doesn't make you any less of a man. Being a lesbian doesn't make you any less of a woman. You're still a man. There are many masculine gay men out there, but being masculine doesn't mean having a bunch of muscles and being a dick and just being mean and hateful. That's what a feminized man would do. A feminized man would manipulate and steal, and clear that up for you. The ideas of strength and power and nurturing and caring and protected and assertive are what makes a man a man. Cheating, bullying, stealing, being addicted to drugs and alcohol, that's not masculinity. That's a feminized man. So sort that out in your head. And I love sharing these topics with you because I know that women watch this, and I'm hoping that more men will come on to our channel for more of a balance, but that's okay too. I'm letting the audience be what it is. But I want to thank you for willing to go to these places on this channel. We're going to continue to challenge each other because getting to the truth means that our beliefs get stripped away, how we feel about certain topics, and also watching things that we disagree with. I disagreed with a lot of the stuff that I shared with you today when I first encountered it. And then I was able to listen to a lot of different perspectives and realize, oh, yeah, I used to think, what's wrong with feminized men? Feminized men are more caring, more nurturing. And then eventually I was like, oh my God, feminized men are dangerous. And I actually had to get hurt by a feminized man to really understand what the fuck we were dealing with. So thank you so much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, comment, or use an emoji if you've got nothing to say. Share this content with others. Thank you for watching and growing with us. And don't forget that we love you. Yes, we do.